Dear learners, today we are going to talk about two very important dramatic conventions, that is soliloquy and aside. Soliloquy is taken from soliloquium, which is a Latin word, and solus means alone, and loqui means to speak. Soliloquy is when a character speaks alone on the stage. As we know about drama, the drama is written to be performed on stage when there is only one character on stage and he speaks up his inner self to the audience. So this is what we call as soliloquy. This is also called as studies in the inner psychology of man or character. And through soliloquy, the character, he shares his most intimate thoughts with his audience. He tells about his motives and intentions, what he is likely to do in future, what are his motives or intentions. And this is in a way very similar to dramatic monologue, which is a technique in poetry. It comes very close to that because both are the searches in the inner psychology of man. The classical writers use this technique not so much, rarely used, but when it comes to Elizabethans and Jacobeans especially, they use this technique a lot in their works. A beautiful example of soliloquy is in Hamlet, where Hamlet speaks in the beginning of the play when he comes back from university and his father is already dead, the elder Hamlet, and he is unable to decide the course of action, what to do and what not to do. So he shares his inner thoughts with the audience, and this is one of the most famous soliloquies of Hamlet. To be or not to be, that is the question, whether it is nobler in mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. It's a long soliloquy. I've just taken a part just to show you that how Hamlet shares his inner psyche, his mind with the audience when he is alone on stage, when there is no one else to listen. Then we have another important soliloquy, and that comes at the very last stage of a very important play of Marlowe, Dr. Faustus. And Dr. Faustus wants time to stop because the contract that he signed with Saturn is almost coming to an end, and he wants that time should stop here. And he shares his inner self, his inner agony with the audience when he is alone on stage. And beautiful lines, fair nature's eye, rise, rise again, and make perpetual day. So he wants sun to come again, and the day should not end, night should not come, or let this hour be but a year, a month, a week, a natural day. So this is where he shares his agony, his inner thoughts with the audience on the stage, Dr. Faustus being alone. Coming to aside are the words which are spoken in a low tone or undertone in such a way that the audience is able to listen, and there is another character or characters on the stage who are unable to listen. Sometimes it happens that a character speaks to some other character on the stage, and there are some others who are unable to listen to that. So it can happen two ways. Character is addressing the audience in the presence of some other character or characters in such a way that those characters are unable to listen while audience listens, or character speaks to another character on stage in such a way that other character or characters, they can't listen. So this is a technique where the character provides important information about plot, how the scheme of things are going to happen. So he shares those things and motives with audience. It seems to be a fallacious convention, not in the sense that it has nothing to do with reality. It happens in everyday life as well. But as far as the stage performance is concerned, so it seems to be false in the way that how is it possible that a character is sharing his thoughts with audience and he is speaking loud, he is speaking in a way that audience can listen, but a person standing close to him or persons standing close to him, they can't listen. So in that sense, otherwise, it is what happens in life as well. So there is a beautiful example of aside again from Shakespeare's play Hamlet, when Claudius talks to Hamlet by calling him his son and nephew, Hamlet makes an aside by saying, a little more than kin and less than kind. Now, this is which information which he shares with audience in such a way that Claudius, his uncle, is unable to listen. So, and it speaks volumes about what Hamlet is thinking about Claudius. A little more than kin, a relative, and less than kind. So this is beautiful presentation of aside by Shakespeare in Hamlet. Then there is another example from Shakespeare's uh, beautiful and very famous comedy, Twelfth Night, where Viola is made a messenger of love by Duke Orsino. She is given the duty to present her love to Lady Olivia, and she is disguised and she speaks her mind in an aside. I'll do my best to woo you, lady, Viola says, and aside in such a way, the first one is spoken in a way that Duke Orsino is able to listen, and then in aside she says, yet a powerful strife, it's a difficult task, it's a complex situation. Whoever I woo myself would be his wife. So she also shows her intentions that she wants to marry Duke Orsino. So this is also throwing a light on what direction the plot is going to take in future. So this is a beautiful example of aside from Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. Hope you have got the idea. And if you have any queries, you can ask in your comments. And if you like, please subscribe and share. Thank you very much.